What's going on, everybody? We are here today because I did, I know, I did another submission for grading. I did one card to PSA. Why would I do one card to PSA? I'll explain. And then I did several cards to SGC. Now, why did I do this? I did it for a few reasons. Number one, the PSA card is an autographed card. And so because it's an autographed card, you know, one of the reasons I think that grading makes sense is grading, it makes it easier to determine that an autograph is real and what the value of the autograph is. And it kind of protects whoever ends up with the autograph from kind of being taken advantage of. And so if it's a valuable autograph, I think it's worth getting graded. And I think it's worth getting authenticated. And I very, very rarely have gotten cards autographed at shows since authentication was like a thing. I've gotten a lot of autographs in person. I've gotten some through the mail. I have gotten some at shows, but it was years and years and years ago before they did like authentication like that. And so to me, this was kind of a high value autograph that was worthy of getting authenticated and graded. And to me, the place to go if you're going to get a card graded, dual graded especially, and authenticated would be through PSA. So I sent one card in for that. We'll start with that. The other thing I did is I sent in several cards to SGC. Now there's something that I think makes this particularly interesting. This SGC reveal is particularly interesting because I have 4 cards that I sent in to get reholdered. They were in old SGC slabs. I am neurotic, so I wanted the slabs to match. So I went ahead and I sent them in to just be reholdered. When you do that, they don't regrade the card. It keeps the existing grade. It just goes into a new holder. I also submitted 2 cards that were in PSA holders for crossover. And when I did it in each case, I felt the card was undergraded by PSA. So I put it in to hopefully be bumped in grade. And I put the minimum grade, because when you cross over from one to the other, you can say, cross it over, but only cross it over if it gets at least this grade. Well, in both cases, I put the minimum grade of a half a grade higher than it was already graded by PSA because I thought it was undergraded. So how did those do? Did SGC bump them? Did they bump them the half grade? Did they bump them more? Or did they stay in PSA slabs because SGC wouldn't bump them or didn't think that they were worthy of the bumped grade? And then I had several cards that were ungraded that I wanted to get graded just because a couple of them were strictly curiosity. I was like, I wonder what this card would grade. And it was worth $15 to try that. Which, by the way, part of the reason that I did the crossover is purely curiosity. It's not because I prefer an SGC slab necessarily for those cards, although one of them I do. I was just simply curious how that would go. And I thought it'd be fun to share that experience with you guys. And then, again, a lot of those cards were raw. I just wanted to get them holdered. I wanted to get them graded. Most of them are PC cards. There's about, though, a couple, 2, 3, that I'm probably going to end up selling. I looked at the grades. Some grades came in above what I expected. Some grades came in below what I expected. Some were kind of right on. I think it was interesting. I thought the whole process was interesting. I'm excited to share it with you. Let's check it out. All right, here are my Returns. This is my SGC return. I did look at the grades, so they will not be a surprise to me. But here's my PSA card. I submitted one card, and this is a sportscaster card of Jack Nicklaus, which I've had for a while. It's a beautiful autograph on it. And I decided, you know, some of my nicer autographs, I really should get them authenticated. So I decided to do dual grading because the card is in really good shape too. And so this is before his 81 Donruss card, which a lot of people call his rookie card. This is predating that. So I looked the card over really good, and it seemed to me like it was in great shape. Well, PSA didn't really agree. They gave the auto a 10, but they gave the card a 4. I'm not sure what happened with the card, but I still love it. Haven't decided for sure what the plan is for this. I have his autograph on a photo as well. There you can see it. So this is tentatively for sale, but I would be happy to keep it. Gorgeous item there. So then I got my SGC package back. Now, as I am opening this up, I'll explain. I have 4 cards that I got reholdered. In addition to the 4 cards that are reholdered, I also have 2 cards I put in to crossover. And the crossover minimum grade requirement that I listed was higher than the existing grade. So it would need a grade bump for it to cross. And then I also submitted several cards that were raw just for grading. So I have a little of everything in this one. And I will tell you that one of the cards did cross over from a PSA grade. One of them did not. So one of them did not get, SGC did not agree with the half grade bump minimum requirement. And we'll look at that card first. One of the cards did cross over with a half grade bump. So first off, you've seen this card before. I should have, not that long ago, a card I thought was really good eye appeal, and possibly undergraded. My 56 Topps Ted Williams. So this card is in a 3.5, and I said, cross it over if you give it at least a 4. And they said, nope, it's not a 4. So I'm still not really sure why not, but I'm missing something. But that's okay. I love the card. The color on it is fantastic. The centering's fantastic. It was more of an experiment than anything. So there is my Ted Williams. I don't see any surface issues using the light there. So I'm not sure why it's not a 4 or better. But I'm sure there's something. But again, doesn't really matter to me. Card will stay in my collection. And that experiment failed, which is okay. Ooh. And then I got to take this card out of plastic, I guess. They put the top and bottom card in the plastic. I'll just leave it. So, all right, I'll take it out. You can get a better look at it if I take it out. So this is Vic Willis. He was a really good pitcher. Hall of Famer. Beautiful card. Now, this card actually, you'll see on my pickups video here in a couple of days. I picked this up this month, and it was in an old holder, and I just wanted them to match, so I decided to get it reslabbed. So this Vic Willis card is going to go into my T206 Hall of Fame collection. We'll get a better look at it right here. It's in a 2.5, but to me, the centering and eye appeal on this card is really, really nice. So thrilled to add that and get it in the brand new slab. Looks gorgeous in my eyes. Next up is another crossover. This one is my Rube Marquard, another great pitcher. He was kind of a phenom young pitcher, struggled at the beginning of his career, but then really did well.
I picked this card up at the Strongsville show last year in an old label 3. I don't think it would get a 3 today. I think that's probably more like a 2. But the eye appeal on it has everything that I want. I think it's a gorgeous card, and it looks great in that brand new slab. You can see, again, when they cross it to a new slab, they don't regrade it. They respect the existing grade, even if they may not agree with it anymore, and just put it in new plastic. So love that card. Also a nice piece in my collection. Now this card I got from my good friend John Mangini at the National. He brought this and gave this to me as a gift. And I love vintage golf cards. And this Walter Johnson is a really cool card from that Bulgaria set, Bulgaria Sport. And it was in an older label, and I just decided to get it freshened up in a new slab. So excited to get that card. Here's a better look at it. A really nice looking 4. Again, what a gift from Mr. Mangini. Thrilled to have this one. Just love that image. And then the 4th card that I had reslabbed is this polar bear back, which is Roger Bresnahan. Now he is a Hall of Famer as well. He's got a portrait card and this quote-unquote action shot. I love the smokestack in the background and the sunset there. It's a gorgeous image, and the color on it is outstanding. This one's in a 3. Again, you can see the deep blue on the polar bear back. And he helped pave the way as a contributor. A lot of the equipment that some players started using in baseball are a result of Roger Bresnahan. So a very good player, but also made a contribution in player safety. Love that, how he's choked up on the bat like they did then. Now, this next card was a crossover, and you can see the back. There is some staining on the back. And you maybe remember this card. This was in a PSA 2.5. And it's a really nice card. Other than that kind of staining on the back, it's a really, really nice card. I think it would get like a 6 if it wasn't for that staining. So in the 2.5, I said, nah, I think it's better than a 2.5, and I want to cross it. I just like the looks of them in the PSA tuxedo slabs better. And SGC said, okay, we agree, we'll bump it. So I put the minimum grade as a 3. They gave it a 3 and crossed it over. So this got a half grade bump, which, again, doesn't affect the card. It's in my permanent collection. But I think it looks great in that slab. Look how nice those T206s look in that slab. I just think they look fantastic. You can see the front of it. The front of the card is literally like a 6. It's that staining on the back that's preventing it from being any higher. And for a T206, that's pretty decent centering. Next up, I got this card. Got this recently at a card show. So this is one of those new card scoops cards. It's Ty Cobb. Really, really sharp card. And Ty Cobb named the best is this card. And I was like, this is so sharp. I got to get it graded. I think this has a chance at an 8.5. 8.5 was kind of what I was thinking. So I decided to send it in and see what SGC thought, and they agreed. They gave it an 8. So that card came in right about what I was thinking. I thought it might get a little better, but the centering is probably holding it back. But that is a beautiful card. This card I am going to be selling. It is on my eBay store. If anyone out there is interested, don't buy it from eBay. Email me. I'll get you a better deal than I have it on my eBay store. But this is a really pretty card of Ty Cobb. So that one turned out pretty well for me. Next up, I've got the other new Scoops card I got. This is a Walter Johnson. It looks like it's almost miscut, but that's just the way this card is. There is basically no border from those headlines up there. Everyone I see, I mean, you can see on the left, there's no margin either. And this one was really sharp, and I was thinking, man, this thing might be 8.5 also, was kind of my thought. Thought it had maybe an outside chance at a 9 because it's so sharp. Top to bottom, it might be off just a hair. This one's also for sale on my eBay, and it got an 8. So if anyone out there's interested in that one, reach out to me directly. Don't buy it through eBay. I'll cut you a deal. Otherwise, just email me. So that one turned out good. Again, they're kind of on the low end of what I was hoping for on those, but again, it doesn't really matter. You can see how sharp it is. It's a really nice looking card. And these Scoops cards have got some really cool cards in them. There's some Ruths in there and Jackie Robinsons. It would be kind of a fun set for someone to put together. Now, this is my Aussie Smith from my 79 top set. And it is pretty darn well centered. It's very, very sharp. And if you look right there, you can barely see a little bit of a color imperfection. It's like paper pulp. Sometimes in these older cards, there's like a little bit of a bump or something in the paper. And you can see the back is well centered. I was thinking this card had a legit chance at an 8. That was kind of my hope. And I was very disappointed when I saw it got a 6.5. And I was wondering, man, is that little piece of paper pulp really preventing it down like a grade and a half? And so I started looking at the surface and looking. And you know what? If you look right here, there's a little like indentation. I think that's probably the reason. I think I missed that. It's a beautiful looking card. The eye appeal's off the charts. It's still in my permanent collection. I thought it had a chance at an 8. I really did. And you can see that little piece of that little coloration up at the top. Can't really see the little bump that was right around his shoulder there on the right. But that's got to be the reason. I guess it's probably a fair grade, having missed that. Now, next up, I've got this Nolan Ryan. Now, this card, also from the 79 top set, I thought this card was an 8.5 or a 9. And the centering side to side is terrific. The corners are like perfect. Top to bottom, it's off a little. Now on the back, though, this is the question. Is the back top to bottom centering, you can see there, is off a fair amount. So I was like 8.5, 9. Would that centering keep it from that? Because other than that back centering and then the top to bottom on the front, it's pretty darn perfect. So what do you think that should get? Well, it got a 7.5. I'm starting to realize I'm just not that good at evaluating cards. It's good that I collect based on eye appeal and not based on technical appeal. Because technically, I don't do very well. But I just like cards that look good, and to me, that looks good. So that's not going anywhere. It's staying in my permanent collection. I don't like it any least. I guess it might have a little bit of a diamond cut, very, very slightly. That might have bumped it down. Again, doesn't really matter, but I thought it might do better. So that, whatever. Next, I bought this pirate card raw. And it's 140 years old, 135 years old. So being kind of beat up is not surprising. It's got some staining on it. It's got all sorts of issues. But the reason I got this card, you can see right there, it's number 50. And that's the last card in the set. And as we all know, in vintage cards, the first and last cards are brutal because of rubber banding in the front and the back of the set. So these old cards, those cards are super important. They're hard to find at all, let alone in decent condition. And this got a 1.5, which I think is totally fair. That was the expectation. I thought it was better than a 1. Didn't think it was good enough for a 2. So that was right about where I thought it would go. And we'll take a better look at it here. The image on it is fantastic. And that's the key for me on these, is that there's no paper loss like on their face or anything like that. That is how his eyes are supposed to look, believe it or not. So excited to get that slabbed. And then my good pal Mookie Chilson sent this to me a while back. This is a Captain Hook Carrera's Cigarettes card. They have this whole set of fictional characters. It's from the 1920s. And there's a bunch of different characters from books like Oliver Twist and Cinderella and Captain Hook and stuff. And this isn't going anywhere. This is a special card from a friend, but I just wanted to get it slabbed up. And I was thinking this might get about a 3. That's kind of what I was thinking. Not that it mattered. And it got the 3. That's right about what I expected. So far, a couple of the cards have come back right about what I was thinking. A couple a little bit lower. Those 79 tops were the ones that were a little bit discouraging, but I guess I get it. Again, this is a cool set. They're not super rare, these Carrera's cards. They're not easy to find, but they're fairly easy to find. So they're not super expensive. Next, now you may remember from last month, I picked up this Warren Spawn 54 Red Heart. It's got good eye appeal, but it's got some issues. Like the corners are heavily rounded. The back is way off center. I just thought it had good eye appeal. That's the reason I bought it. I paid $40 or $45, I think, for this ungraded. And again, heavily rounding on the corners, way off center. It's kind of hard to see, but at the top right, there's a little bit of like a wave in it. It's see if I can show you here. Kind of has, there you can kind of see it. There's like a little bit, I wouldn't call it a crease or a wrinkle, but it's like a bend. You can see it there in the top right. So I was thinking I was going to get a 2.5, 2 or 2.5. I got a 3. So that one came up in above what I was expecting. So far, I've been low, high, and just right. So I'm definitely, you can see the little stain in the top left. I just think the image is awesome. I think it's got great eye appeal. So cool that it's a 3. Doesn't matter, really. A little higher than I was expecting. Now, this last card I got as a gift. I'll take it out of the package here real quick. I got this as a gift from a member of Midlife Nation. And he sent this to me in the mail. And he said, "Hey, Greg, I got a Sammy Baugh card. And I had been talking about this card because I wanted it because I don't have it for my Sammy Baugh run. So I was excited to add it to my Sammy Baugh run." And he's like, "Yeah, it's kind of a lower grade." He goes, "I think it's kind of a 3 or a 3.5. You can see it's a little OC there, side to side. And I took a look at it, and I was like, yeah, I think it's probably like a 3.5 as well. Didn't matter, because I just wanted the card for my Sammy Baugh run, my Sammy Baugh collection. This is from the All-American set, which is a really cool football set. And check this out. Got a 5. Again, I had it as like a 3.5. This one got a 5. So the last couple cards here came in quite a bit higher than I expected, which is interesting, but doesn't really matter. Again, I'm keeping the cards. So you can see, I don't know, those corners, do those look like a 5 to you? Doesn't matter. It's going in the collection. I'm just realizing slowly but surely I'm not that good at grading technically.
How do you all think I did? Were those grades fair? Were they high? Were they low? the spawn and the ball were a little higher than I expected. Not gonna lie. Those 279 Topps cards, I don't know, maybe, I guess after looking a little bit closer, I guess the Aussie, I don't know, that seems raw, that seems tough, but I guess the Aussie Smith is fair. I don't know. The Nolan Ryan, I guess that back centering, is that what doomed it? I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, and it's all good, and I'm certainly, it hasn't changed my opinion of the cards. I'm pretty sure that those Scoops cards I'm going to end up selling anyway. I did put those up on eBay. They are for sale. If you're interested in that Ty Cobb or Walter Johnson, though, email me directly because I'll sell it to you for cheaper than I have it on eBay. And then the Jack Nicklaus autograph. I have 2 Jack Nicklaus autographs. I have a lot of golf autographs. I have 2 Jack Nicklaus autographs. I have one framed on the wall on a picture, and then I have that one. So I do have that card in that PSA slab for sale on eBay as well. It's hard to price, so a card that's a pop 1. And it's before his quote-unquote rookie card from the 81 set that sells for $500-600 autographed, plus it's dual graded, so that's on eBay as well. I don't know if I'd be happy keeping it though. So anyways, hey, one last thing, remember I still have about 40 left. If you would like a Captain Midlife card courtesy of my friends at the Penny Sleever, down below in the comments, in the description, I always say that, in the description, there's a link to sign up for a form, give me your information, and I will mail it to you for free, thanks to the Penny Sleever. And don't forget to show some love to the Penny Sleever. They did this for us. It'd be nice next time you buy some supplies for your cards, if you go through Isaac. It's a family-owned business, you know, a small business, American business. It's got all, I mean, they're great guys. Isaac's a great guy. I had him on the channel. Give him some business, give him a shot. And I think when you get your Captain Midlife and Mr. Penny Sleever cards, you'll see the quality of the product. So try that, check that out. Thanks for watching.